Guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So eventful day and night. I was working on my welding shield. I had crushed it. Actually, someone else had crushed it about a year ago, and I had a heat gun on it trying to remold it. And I just did a community post. It was a joke, all right, about working the corner selling eggs. Okay. Had dime bags made up and everything. Anyway, next thing I know, police is all over our streets. Yeah, I know, I'm a little freaked out by the police all the time, even though odds are they weren't looking for me for a stupid meme post I did. You guys, we started doing videos on eggs, and you see it in the news. Other YouTubers are constantly talking about the egg prices and egg shortages and stuff. This is something that we saw coming. We tried to encourage people to deep freeze like what we were doing, you know, store whatever way you needed to store, dehydrate, whatever. But back to why the police was all over our street. I got picked up early today for lunch. I had to go take care of some business, and my wife was letting me know that she had came home and she heard someone yell, 911 help, somebody help. She's in the big old Tahoe and it's loud, 350. So she's like rolling down the windows, listening, shut off the truck, listening. She heard it again. So, of course, being a woman by herself, even though she does have self-defense tools, she doesn't get out of the vehicle yet. She cranks it up, rolls back into the street out of the driveway, just kind of survey what's going on. And 2 houses down, there's a elderly gentleman hanging halfway out of a window, screaming, someone call 911 help. So my wife parked, went to go give aid. It turns out, wouldn't know this at the time, but the individual said that they had just recently got out of the hospital. My wife did see a band on his wrist, but he was unable to use the door for some reason inside the house, so he was trying to crawl out the window, got stuck. So my wife called 911. Emergency services came, and they actually took the gentleman to the hospital. Like I said, he was an elderly guy. I come home, my wife had told me this at lunchtime. I had some things to take care of. I come home, I'm working on fixing my welding shield, and my security alarm is going off to let me know movement in front yard, movement inside yard. I'm like, great. Here we are with January 20th right on us. What is going on? Take a look at the cameras. Police is everywhere. Cars all over the street. Apparently EMS did not notify, leave a note or anything that, hey, we took an individual from your house. And so people were looking for this guy. Maybe that was on us for not going next door when I got home to make sure that these people knew that, hey, services were here for an individual in your yard. I kind of figured that, you know, they did that type of stuff. Apparently not. As it turns out, the elderly gentleman suffers from a form of dementia. And the other occupants of the house, I believe it's his son, had changed the locking system on the door where this is not safe. You can't get out if it's locked from the outside. So the elderly gentleman couldn't get out of the house. So he broke out of the house. Oh, almost. A lot of lessons to be learned on this. One, if you call emergency services for your neighbors or something like that, you might want to follow up. I personally don't know those particular people very well. They've always worked different shifts than me, and we moved to the area pretty new. So people are still standoffish on certain things. 2, the idea of having a locking system outside your home when you leave to go to work to lock people in. I understand with people with dementia, you don't want them wandering. You know, they need to be supervised, especially if it's really bad. but that's a serious endangerment, in my opinion. If the house was to catch fire, especially with somebody with dementia, cooking, whatever, something could happen inside the house. They have an emergency, they cannot get out of the house. As in this case today, he was halfway in and halfway out of the window. He didn't have the body functions to get all the way out the window. So he actually said that he had been dangling there for almost an hour until my wife pulled up and heard someone yell for help 2 houses down. So lesson to be learned here, guys. One, get more involved with your community. I've been trying to. We've been working with certain people right here in my community right now. But with my work schedule, guys, I've just been spread too thin. I just have. 2, watch how you secure your home. All right, it's one thing to have deadbolts, stuff like that, but locking it from the outside so people cannot escape your home is not really a good idea, in my opinion. And as for the egg apocalypse, I told y'all, stock up. I'm not going to sit there and say, you know, look at me, I was smarter than anybody else, because I'm not. But I show our preps and stuff, guys, you know, stockpiles of food and stuff to try to encourage you. Hey, look how simple this is. A few bucks a paycheck. I know, sometimes you have to make sacrifices for it. Can't start putting food back. Big concern right now is all the reports that are coming in of something major uprising could be going down before the change of power. Let's put it that way. This platform likes to hold a grudge against me for certain words I use. I've heard rumors that they're not going to let this happen. They're not going to let the change of powers to be here in the United States happen. Something big's going to happen. I don't know. As a prepper, I try to prepare for as many things as possible. And stocking up, yeah. I mean, next week they're actually talking about, due to the weather being so cold and rainy next week here where I'm at, we might be seeing snow again. As a matter of fact, back in the 80s, we did have snow here, and it stuck to the ground. So I'm in Florida, but weather changes all the time. Now, it's nothing like when I lived in North Carolina. It's nothing like when I lived out in Oregon. All right? It snows. Power goes down. Do you have ways of heating up your home? Do you have ways of staying warm? Do you have ways of cooking? Lighting. That's why we show the solar generators, the solar build that we did for our own home, putting these things together piece by piece. So we had a way of generating power when the grid goes down. It doesn't have to be an act of war to make you lose power. Natural disasters alone will do that. Down here in Florida, Hurricane Central. Power's always going out. Drunk driving, rainy roads, people just taking things out because they can't drive. When I lived up in North Carolina, ice storms. There for 2 weeks out of the year, you knew the power was going to be down, well, at least where I lived at, because the ice storms would come through, knock everything out. So we prepared for those things. Being a prepper doesn't make you an insane individual. It just means that you're prepared for when stuff goes down. Now, if you're one of those individuals that like to scream about the Illuminati and Nibiru and all that great stuff, might not want to try to say you need to be preparing for these things because people look at you like you're just freaking nuts. But that's just my opinion. You do you. The stigma, the stain that has came to the prepper name from certain TV shows like, what was that one? Doomsday Prepper. Yeah, that just made us all look like we're all insane. Anyway, keep prepping, guys. Good news. I had a huge opportunity land in my lap. I had a meetup with one of my viewers here, and turns out it's a couple towns away. They run a welding shop. Yeah, and all they have is 2 brand new welders straight out of welding school. and offered me an amazing job. That's one of the reasons I was trying to repair the huge dent in my welding shield there. Because I'm going to take it. I love welding. I had to leave the shipyard because my knee gave out. But this is working in a shop. I have the opportunity to work into a lead position. Yeah, I'm going to take it. I'm going to get back into it. I've been doing mechanic work for off and on for years. Last, 2 years, I've been back at mechanic work, working at the dealership. I enjoy doing it, but it's amazing how butthurt people get when you're the new guy and you know more than them. Yeah, I don't make many friends, even though I'm just there to work. But that's just the way it is. You try to do the right thing, and people get bent out of shape. Yeah. Anyway, so good news. All this stuff going down. So anyway, guys, please keep prepping. I don't know what's coming around the corner. I just look at everything like you guys do, and I try to make informed, correct decisions on this. That way I'm not left out there with my pants around my ankles going, great. All right, guys. Speak to you later.